women because it is our day. We have to celebrate. We have still a very, very long way to go. And of course, we are at the first stage. Let us not forget that there are many of us women in the world who are still struggling and they have to struggle alone. And when we go to the second stage, then we're going to then men and women fighting together for a better world. Well, I wish I could tell you much about digitalization in Cyprus. Yes, we are a EU country, a European country, but we are not doing that well as far as gender equality is concerned. We are 57 among the 100 in Europe, and we are in the lowest ranks, the 27 countries of the EU. We still have a long way to go, but we are very pleased that now we have a new president who is relatively young. He had promised, like all the candidates that we had, this that it's going to be one of the things that they're going to promote. It's women's equality. Pleased to say that out of the 11 ministers, we have 3 women, but out of all the higher positions in the government, out of the we have 6 women and 11 men. So we are doing fine, considering that we are really doing poorly in the past few years. So in digitalization, I have to agree, Oliver is not here. We are also not in the digital revolution still in Cyprus. We still have a long way to go. We hope that we are going to be able to digitalize all our government sectors, because we are not digitalized for the time being. So the same applies as far as women bullying and women's opportunities and things like that. Hopefully we will be able to do that. But when it comes to my ministry, I will just share with you a few of my thoughts. When it comes to our ministry, we are doing fine. We have a lot of women ambassadors. Things were not that easy. Just consider, I have 2 children, 24 and 27. When we gave birth 25 years ago in Cyprus, and we were abroad, they pay us an overseas allowance. They will cut from our education allowance. They will cut from our house allowance, because we were on leave, on maternity leave, just to show you how things were. And don't be very shocked. I'm sure it happened in a lot of countries. When Oliver said that she was one of the lucky women, yes, this is very true for a lot of us, Oliver, and I'm very happy that you said that, because not things are very rosy. We are an EU country, we are still fighting. And when I think that my great aunt, she was an educator, considered the first feminist in Cyprus, the first feminist journalist. We didn't know anything about her until 20 years ago. We didn't know her story. Why? Because nobody cared about women. Women went out to study because we didn't have a university. She was one of the lucky ones, like you, Oliver, as you said, that you were lucky. She went abroad to study. What did they study? It was to become educators and to become musicians, go to the Sorbonne. If they were lucky, they came from the wealthy families. It was a privilege of the boys. But this great aunt of mine, who at the time, of course, she was considered a feminist, but when you think about it, that was a triptych. It was always country, religion, and faith. She tried to persuade the families of young girls, send them the wealthy ones, of course, send them abroad to study, so they can come back and they're going to be better mothers and better wives. You see, it depends from which background you come. What is more important? Is it your education? Is it your health? Or is it your food? I mean, we live in a very diverse world. And I think that panels like this give us the opportunity to express ourselves and say about our countries and be honest about our countries. Cyprus still has a long way to go, as I said. I mean, we don't have women in the technological who study to mathematics, the STEM, as you call it. Even though they are doing much better in the gymnasium, in the high school, they're not going to send them to study mathematics or technology. Now things are changing, even though there are more than 50% of the educated people in Cyprus, they are women. They will go and do the traditional education. But of course, in my case, I have 2 kids. they're both in arts. So a boy and a girl. So it's okay. Whatever they want to do, they can follow their dream. That's why, and you were right, Beate, until the age of 12, they want to study one of the STEM, but then at the age of 15, they change their mind. No, we have to encourage our children, at least the ones that we come from countries where the women have the opportunity to follow their dream and see what they want to study. They could be technology. I'm not good in math. I was never good in math. I'm only good at playing with my grandmother cards up to 100. I was good. After that, I wasn't good. So this is the thing. So let's hope that yesterday we were together, Mabel, and with Beate in Chengdu. We talked about resilient cities and the GDS, the Sustainable Development Goals, that of course we don't, in Cyprus, as far as women is concerned, we have erased poverty, we have health, it's good and everything, but there's a long way to go as far as economy is concerned, as far as women in the decision-making process. In the parliament, very few women, but we have a speaker of the parliament who is a woman and a young one. So slowly we are getting there. Let's see, I'm going to give the chance to our new president, what he promised that he's going to do for women. He's been surrounded by women. We have a commission for women's for gender equality issues, and we're going to see how things are going to progress. So actually, Beate, just today she told me that she wanted me to make a little speech. So I'm just going through my notes to see, I was listening to everybody and see what would interest people. As you, Oliver, 83% of our laws in Cyprus about sexual violence, they are very good, they are in place. But this is the thing: you have to educate people, not just to have the laws. You can, of course, you have to apply the laws, but if you don't educate people, nothing is going to change. We have to continue educating. I mean, we saw China. One of the ladies said about this one, that the Manhattan Project, she was a woman, but she never got the prize. It was all accredited to men. But things are changing. And bravo, huh? Half of the billionaires in the world, half of them are women in China. Good for you. I mean, it's a way of moving forward. So let's hope that we, as I said, we are 57 in Europe. The salaries are more or less, they are the same in the public sector. As far as the private sector, 8% we get less than the men, of course, naturally, because they think they're better. So we are going to continue. So I'm proud to say that I'm having the chance to say again about my great aunt, whose name was Polixeni Loizias. She used the end of it. It was Loizu, which is the U, which in Greek means you belong to somebody, and she changed herself not to belong to anybody. And I wanted to touch something else. She was the first feminist, as I said. She introduced gymnastics for women. I'm not at all good in sports. She was a poet. She was a lot of things in Cyprus, and we are very proud of her. But the thing is that, as I said, she encouraged women to go and study, and she was their mentor. And also something she did that I would like to mention, and thank you for giving me the opportunity. She also cared about the working class women, the poor women, and she had Sunday schools, so she would give the opportunity to poor women to come to school. And that's what we women have to do. We have to help each other, be mentors. The ones, it's hard for us, and as I always say to my daughter, what you take for granted, I had to fight for it. What our generation takes for granted, our mothers had to fight for it. So, a luta continua. We're going to continue until we have a world where we are not going to need quotas like we don't have in Cyprus. We have asked them to have quotas like you have, Oliver, in your country. Not even quotas. They don't want them because they're afraid. They don't want the quotas because they know that once we get into the system, they're not going to be able to get us out. But we are going to, but at least we have a democracy, and I can say these things I say. So the thing is that we are going to continue. Thank you for the opportunity. Keep up the good work. Thank you, China, for giving us this opportunity. Happy International Day to Women's Day to all of us. And we're going to continue the struggle, second stage with men. Thank you.